But I want you to watch as she goes back here. I want you to look at the freedom of her upper body. As I said, you can see it kind of moves across some amount. And so what we'd say is it's moving in this direction here, moving down and across. The other thing you'll notice is I want you to look at the freedom in her left leg. Now this is not that we're trying to collapse the knee in, but it just shows that the hips are turning in a certain way, which I'll get into another video, and that allows for some of the positions to happen a little bit more naturally. You know, in your case, if I just got to this position on its own, you'll see how you tend to drop down, kind of lowering, and the knee's in a fixed position. Now you could argue, well, you know, my arms look the same, and I would say to some extent they do, but actually you start to get into what I would call a restricted look there. It just kind of looks a little bit too stuck. The lower body to me is getting lowering too much, almost an up and away movement of the chest, and again freeing up a little bit of the lower body. I feel like when you get too low, and this is a good checkpoint and pretty much where I'm probably going to end the video, can you see how much more at this point, and again this is because of how she's moved, you kind of look stuck down. Anne has really a beautiful like free upper body rotation. Yours looks at best maybe 40 degrees with your upper body, and I'll talk about the chest or the torso where you can see she's more at like 70. Now when you do get in this kind of stuck look, as fluent as it can look at speed, to me it compromises like positions, and you start to, you know, roll the club a little bit open in the takeaway, which is, I know is something I read in your post that Anne said to kick the toe down. The reason she does that is largely because of how she uses her body and how she coordinates some of these segments. So sometimes a bit tough to convey in this context. Although your arm stops short like hers, to me your body looks completely different. So look at the knees, and that's really to do with how her hips have rotated, and then that has an influence on how her upper body's moved. So all these parts are important, and they're going to lead to, you know, how your ability to kind of transition and move through the ball. So I'm going to send you some feedback on how to practice this a little bit. But for me, this is a point that I'm not going to go beyond until you kind of nail it, if you like, because I think it has just a big flow-on effect